Hey guys, Christina Selena here, reporting from two parts of the world.
And today we're going to talk about how to work full time and study and how to balance your life.
Okay, that's better. I don't know what happened in the last few videos, or maybe it was the person who was editing them, but just in case, put a little Vaseline on my lips.
Listen, Christina, I don't know why your lips were chappy in every single video we've done. Sounds like a personal problem and not the editor's problem.
My lips are perfect.
Perfect. Okay.
Just saying.
Wait,
Just saying.
why are you sideways?
I'm not sideways.
Is your shirt sideways or are you sideways?
I don't know.
Okay.
I thought we were wearing the same shirt. I thought we were wearing the same shirt.
I thought we were too, because you told me you had this shirt when you looked through my Instagram to see what outfits I have.
See? It says, I am architect.
Sure, Christina.
Isn't that what yours says?
Sure.
That's not what yours says?
Can you get straight again?
Okay. Right, so the university that we both attended for our undergrad gave us the opportunity to work full-time and finish our degree part-time. It was a slightly longer program, but we were able to get our experience hours, which in America is needed to sit for your licensure.
With our program, basically we worked from 9 to 5 or 8:30 to 5:30, whatever the office hours are. And then from 6 to either 9 or 10, depending on the class, about 2 to 3 times a week. Some people did 4 times a week, which is a bit crazy, I think, because you just don't get a day to rest. But so your schedule was basically probably around 3 times a week, work till 5, grab something to eat if you have time, or just wait to eat till like 10 p.m., which I think is insane, but a lot of people did that actually. And then at some point outside of these times, you have to figure out when you're going to do homework and all this other stuff, because architecture school has a lot of work. Like, it's not really a difficult major. There's a video about that if you're interested in watching. But it is really time consuming. So you really have to schedule your time and make sure that you get everything done that you need to get done without pushing like your schoolwork into your work time or your work time into your schoolwork time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like even if I did grab food before class, after class, I'm still exhausted and hungry.
Yeah.
And then I have to eat again,
Yeah.
which wasn't very good to eat so late, but I feel like a lot of us didn't really have a choice.
Yeah. And in my case, also like almost every day of the week. Well, I had soccer training twice a week. That started at like 8 or 9. Like, I would just go after class then and I'd be late. But then the other days of the week, I would still go play soccer at night until like midnight or something. So like really, this is like kind of my personality a little bit, where I like really schedule my life out and like I really like have time slots for everything. And for me, soccer was something that I kept onto with having such a busy schedule, where I really wanted to still have like an outlet and still have some exercise, and just like for my mental health it was good. So after if I was playing soccer till like midnight or 1 in the morning, I couldn't really do homework at that point. So I moved my homework to the beginning of the day, which is also kind of crazy. So I would wake up at 6, do 2 hours of homework, and then go to work, because also I realized that after work I was sometimes just too exhausted. Like, my brain was just overloaded with information from like a full work day, that I would rather do my homework first and then go to work, and then slowly, like, maybe I'll get exhausted at work, but that's kind of like their fault. Not really fault, but like they hired a student, they know our schedule, so if we get exhausted at work, it's kind of like, well, we also get paid to like less because we're students, so
Significantly less.
significantly
And I guess
less.
that's, we're going to talk about that a little later with communications with your office, because you have to be very clear with what you can offer and what they are offering as well.
Yeah.
First of all, just to be clear, I'm just the time slot to you?
Listen, you're my 4 o'clock call appointment. If you're not there, we're not talking that day.
Okay. Ouch. Ouch. So I'm completely opposite from Selena. I am a total night owl. I I struggle like getting up in the morning, unless I have to catch a flight back to the U.S. Um,
That's when we just party all night and then go
then
to
that's
the
a different story.
airplane.
Or yeah, we could do that too. For me, before I met Selena, like it was always just like work, 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 and I think that a lot of it has to do with how Asian cultures are and how we are raised. Like it's like there's no room to be tired. Like there's no room for your brain or anything to be tired. Like you just got to keep chugging and keep doing it. Except I started to learn over the years, over like a 7 year program, that you only get so much done and that your productivity eventually just slows down once it's like 3 a.m. or something. So for the first few years, I honestly would just not sleep for days and think I'm being productive and think I'm getting a lot done, but I'm really not, and I'm just like it's actually taking longer to get things done because I'm doing it slower. That took a while to figure out. So thankfully, I met Selena 2 years before I finished. So I had 5 years of torture, but 2 years of semi life balance. Um,
Semi.
yeah, semi life balance. She likes to go hiking after a night of drinking because life is about balance.
Listen, if you're gonna like put alcohol into your system, you need to like sweat it out the next day, okay? It's not torture, it's balance.
So back to what you were saying earlier about people who were taking like 2 to 3 classes, sometimes four. I didn't take 4 classes, but I did take 3 classes like every quarter for a while, even though I had room to have 2 classes for like a couple quarters. And I did that because I really wanted to go to Barcelona the summer before my thesis, which is funny because me and Selena weren't close yet, and she was planning on going to Barcelona after her thesis. And so it just lined up, and then we went together for a whole month,
That's another story.
which was very exciting. Yeah, that's another story. But it's about time management, and I managed like time in the long run so that I can go to Barcelona in the summer before thesis.
Yeah, another thing I did was I kind of pushed a lot of my courses towards the beginning of my study. So at the beginning, I was taking 3 courses a lot, and then towards the end, I was just taking 2. And I do feel like after a while, like you really get burnt out, especially taking 3 courses for a while. And like sometimes I would just sit at work and like my vision would just like, because like when you're staying up till like, I don't know, I had a long commute at this job, so I would stay up, do homework until like 2 a.m. just for like, the studio class. And then I would wake up at like 7, to go to work, and I only had 5 hours of sleep for like the last 3 days. And, you're just trying to sit there and concentrate, and it's really, really difficult to focus
Yeah,
there.
it definitely took a toll on us. It definitely
Yeah.
took a huge toll.
I lost like 10 years in
like
architecture school, 10 years of life.
Wait, did you ever see that meme that's like when you're trying to apply for a job after college and you're like 18 and you write on your resume, I have, I don't know, 25 years of experience, and the the person you're interviewing for is like, how do you have 25 years of experience? And he or she is like, overtime.
Over time.
So the second thing that we want to talk about is communication with your company that you're working for. So I think that certain companies tend to be more flexible than others. I think that it's important to be clear from the beginning that, you are, like Selena said earlier, that we are students and there's only so much that we can do, and we are getting paid significantly less than if we were doing the same job, but we had a degree.
Yeah. So during my studies, I worked for 2 different companies, like 2 years each, and I guess I had like a really different experience for both of them. And after my first experience, I went into the interview at the second company. It was like, listen, like this, like ABC. So basically, at the first company, like I said, it was an hour and a half commute. And since I'm supposed to work till 5 and class starts at 6, I had to leave at 4:30 to make it. And so then I could basically never take a lunch. So I would have like, I guess that's not really legal. So don't don't repeat that, internet. Because I really wasn't willing to come in early. Like, I guess the appropriate thing to do would be to come a half hour early to leave a half hour late. But like I just mentioned, like I would spend till 2 in the morning doing work or something, and then I would go to work. And like they were really strict, so I had 5 sick days and 5 vacation days there. And like I was asked by HR if that half hour, if I was using my vacation days for that, and I'm just like, no, like you hired me knowing I have to leave early like 3 times a week. I'm not using my vacation days. Like you only have 10 days. And so it was always like kind of a fight a little bit. And then if I had like a huge deadline, like a final or something, it was inappropriate at this firm to ask for a day unpaid off to do your homework or to get ready for that final, which I think they just didn't really understand the lack of productivity if I'm pulling an all-nighter and I'm at work. So like at this company, I literally, one of my coworkers gave me her car keys and was like, go take a nap in the car, because I was just like at the desk, like not being productive. I'm like, I don't know why I can't just stay home, and it saves the company money from like, I'm not asking to be paid when I'm not there.
Yeah, yeah. So some companies will keep their interns at an hourly rate so that they can take off unpaid to go to school or to finish up a deadline or whatever time that they need, and it benefits both the student and the employer because they're not paying for it and the student isn't going crazy.
Yeah, so basically at my first firm I was salary, and that's why they were so strict about like if I needed time off or something. But when I interviewed for the second firm where Christina and I worked together, literally in my interview I sat down and I was like, listen, because it's so stressful to like, I don't know, it's just not good for your health, and it's so stressful. And I feel like we're young enough to where money, like, I don't know, I feel like in my position, I find health more important than money. Like, if I lose a day's worth of salary, it's not like I have other people to feed, it's just me, and it's like fine. So in my interview, I literally sat down and was like, listen, I want to be paid hourly. If I'm not here because I'm doing work, I don't want any questions asked. Like, I'm a student. I need, like, at my last firm, this is a huge problem that, like, I mean, I'm really good at managing my time. Like, I'm really, really good. But sometimes you just don't have enough hours in the day to do what you need to do. So sometimes you just need to go home or, like, take a half day or, just take a day, like, or, like, a mental health day or something, like. So that's something I actually said in my interview from the second firm, and that was something that was really different in the second firm, where there was not too many questions asked about taking a day unpaid.
And I think that some people may be wondering why you can't just use your sick days or something. Well, depending on the company, you might not have sick days if you're just paid hourly, or you just don't have sick days because that's not what your package comes with. But also, like, even if we did take our sick days, which in America you get like 3 for like the whole year, when we're actually sick, like, then we don't have any sick days. So then it's just like, how am I supposed to juggle like my whole school, like, education career and my actual career, right? And then being sick, and because we're all normal human beings. Well, not Selena, but like we're all normal human beings.
Thanks.
So like 3 days is not enough for a whole year. So it's very stressful. But we've all made it alive for the most part.
So yeah, I guess something at the second company, like, they were really, like, I feel like they really worked well with us for being students, and I've always, like, had the conversation with them, like, we're students first, my degree is more important than my job right now. Like, because if I don't graduate on
Mm-hmm.
time, then I'm losing so much more money. Because like you get like a huge pay
Right.
raise when you
Right.
graduate.
Yeah, but the company is also losing too if you don't graduate because then that delays your time in like getting your license and your
Yeah,
experience, right?
yeah.
So they're losing money because they're investing time and money for you to grow and for you to learn. So,
Oh, yeah. So also like they can charge more for our work. Like they can charge the client for way more when we're a license, like when we not licensed, but when we have our like bachelor degree rather than
mhm.
like completely no degree. So, yeah.
And actually, at the last firm, I was going through a very stressful last year, and a mentor of mine had actually told me, like when I was really struggling with balancing my thesis and balancing work, he had asked me, how many years have you been working at this company? And I said 3. And he said, how many years have you been going to school? And I said 7. And he's like, well, then to me, it sounds like 7 years of school is a lot more important than 3 years of
Mm-hmm.
working here.
Yeah.
So you should most definitely finish your degree and finish like well, not just like, barely passing. Like you might as well put all you got into it,
Mm-hmm.
because that's like the seed of your whole career, whereas this is just 3 years in a company.
I mean, I love that company, but like any company, like any employee is replaceable. Like they're like in a second they would replace you if you leave. So why like why fight for them, so
Mm-hmm.
much.
Yeah.
This is kind of a funny story, and it kind of like maybe sometimes I'm a bit too sassy, or like just sometimes I can't hold my mouth. I just say
But
what
it's
I.
about but it's about putting yourself first,
It is. It is.
like we talked about.
Exactly. So we had this, Christina and I worked at this firm and we both worked on this project together actually. And I finished school a year ahead of Christina. I was doing my bachelor thesis and like that takes a lot of time. And this is like the last project. It's all year. You put your heart into it. You want this to be like your beautiful portfolio piece. And the like our project manager came to us and was like, "Listen, we're gonna need you to do overtime and." Or no, he just said, like, we're going to need you to do overtime. And we're like, we can't do overtime because we have class after work. So
Right.
then,
Well, so the construction documents that needed to be submitted aligned the same time with our finals week, which
yeah,
which was problematic. And this wasn't early in the year. This was like in March or April.
yeah,
So, and her thesis is like in May. So
yeah.
it's like it's cutting it close.
Yeah, I think it was the midterm presentation where, like, I really, really needed to get a lot done. And then after that, I needed a
Mm-hmm.
even bigger push to get to the final. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, they're like, well, if you can't do overtime, then we're going to need to, like, come in on a Saturday. And I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we're gonna need to talk to we're gonna need to talk to the president of the firm
Yeah.
about this. Like, this is not okay. Like, they can't be asking us for this. So Christina and
Yeah,
I,
because we were already like staying late every day. Like not
yeah,
every day. We were already staying like an extra half an hour or
yeah,
coming in like
we were pushing it.
earlier.
Hmm.
Go.
So Christina and I like go up the stairs to like at the president of the firm's office, and we just wanted to have a talk, about like what the heck we can't give you more than we're giving you, and
Mhm.
he was like, listen ladies, we're on crunch time. And I didn't skip a beat, and I was like, we're double crunching. Like, we're crunching at home, we're crunching at work, I don't know where else to crunch. Like, come on. And he was like oh, you're right. So maybe like when you talk about communicating with your office, like maybe just do it a bit nicer than that, but like it got the point across.
Yeah.
And then like
And you also have to know who you're communicating with. We had a very flexible and
yeah.
very straightforward um, president of the
Hmm.
firm,
Yeah.
and so we were able to speak what we thought freely
Yeah.
without him taking offense to it.
Yeah, that was really nice. And so I ended up making a deal, like personally, that I would go on the weekend that day. And then after that
Hmm.
time, I would stay home Tuesdays and Thursdays, like until my thesis is done. Because I was like, I'll give you this weekend, but
Hmm.
after this, like, I really need to I'll just come in 3 times a week, and those other 2 days I will stay home and do my thesis. And they were like, yep, that's fine. Like, no questions asked, and it really worked out okay for me.
Yeah. I think that over the course of years, we have learned a lot from working in our different companies, and we hope that, you know, we were able to share some of that with you. And if any of you are thinking about becoming an architect or like going to school for architecture, drop a comment below, and if you have any questions for us, we would love to hear them.
So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was helpful. And don't forget to subscribe, because we have a lot more helpful hints for you guys. I hope. And we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.